Hi dear friends, in this session we are going to discuss about program evaluation review technique, that is PERT. It is a project management technique. We can say it is a modern project management technique. In the previous session we have discussed about critical path method, that is CPM, which is a single time estimate or deterministic in nature, we concluded. Whereas coming to this project management technique, that is PERT, it is a 3-time estimate technique or probabilistic in nature, we can say. These are the learning objectives. After this session, you should be able to understand the concept of program evaluation review technique, that is PERT, draw a project network using the PERT, identify the critical path and its length, which is nothing but the project duration. Coming to the outline of program evaluation review technique, that is PERT, it is a project management technique which is mainly used in the field of research and development, that is R&D. PERT is adopted when the past data of activities is not available. In PERT, the 3 different time estimates are optimistic time, most likely time, and pessimistic time. It is a project management technique basically, which is mainly used in the field of R&D, that is research and development field. It is adopted or used when the past data is not exactly available to us. Whereas as I have told, CPM is a deterministic project management technique. I mean, the time estimates of CPM are deterministic in nature. In other words, CPM is used when you have the exact past data or when the past data is available to the accurate time. So whereas this PERT is adopted when past data of the activities is not available. I mean, it's like research. So that is the reason why it is mentioned that it is particularly or mainly used in the field of research and development. So the 3 different time estimates of a PERT are optimistic time, most likely time, and the pessimistic time, which are designated by TO, TM, TP. T stands for time. So OMP are optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic time. Now let us discuss what is this optimistic time. It is the minimum time or duration required to complete an activity with all favorable chances. That is, the time estimate of an activity when everything is assumed to go well as per our plan without any provision for breakdown or delays. Optimistic, okay. So for example, okay, you'll plan to complete an activity in 10 days, let us say. So if you exactly complete that in 10 days, normally it is not possible. If it happens to complete, so as per your plan, without any delay, so then it is said to be optimistic time, and the activity has taken place in the optimistic time. It is the minimum time that is required to complete an activity with all favorable chances. I mean, everything is going according to your plan or according to your wish. So that is the time estimate of an activity when everything is assumed to go well as per our plan without any delay or breakdown. Most likely time. It is the expected time of completing an activity with both the favorable and unfavorable chances. That is the normal time. The activity would take. That is, normal delays assumed are taken into the consideration or account. Pessimistic time. It is the maximum time required to complete an activity when everything goes bad or unfavorable conditions predominate. In other words, it is the longest duration that an activity could take to complete. So now let us take an example. Optimistic. assume that okay, to reach airport or a railway station, so you require exactly okay 2 hours. But normally okay, you will reach or you will start early, no? So I mean, so if the duration is 2 hours, exactly if you reach in 2 hours, no, that is optimistic time we can say. I mean, it is happening as per your wish. Sometimes due to the traffic or some other reasons, you may take 2.5 hours or so. Some normal delays are considered. That is most likely time. So probably you can reach half an hour or 50 minutes later. So like that is most likely time. Okay, assuming that you cannot reach before 2 hours. Okay, so minimum time that is required is 2 hours. That is the minimum time is the optimistic time. Most likely means considering some normal delays. So maybe half an hour, 50 minutes or some 15 minutes or 1 hour also sometimes. Fine. Pessimistic time. Pessimistic time means so everything okay will go wrong. So it may not happen as per our prediction. You may take double time. 2 hours okay, it may take 4 hours or 3.5 hours or so. So that is it is the maximum time required to complete an activity. So when everything goes bad or unfavorable conditions due to heavy traffic, so it may take double time, or due to some other reasons, so it is delayed to reach the destination, let us say. So unfavorable conditions are predominating. So in such cases, it will take the longest duration. That is called pessimistic time. So these are like statistical terms. So I mean, it is probabilistic in nature, as I told. PERT is probabilistic in nature. So it may happen according to your wish, or it may happen accordingly with some normal delays or considerable delays, or it may take more time. So because of some unfavorable conditions or bad luck or something like fine. So optimistic, most likely, pessimistic time. Okay, construction of a flyover or a dam, you take it. So it will be planned for 1 year, let us say. So if everything goes well, according to our plan, according to our wish, so it may be completed in 1 year. That is optimistic, we can say. Or it may take 2 months extra, let us say 1 year, 2 months, like normally, okay, it may take little extra time, that is like most likely time. Or because of some weather reasons, weather conditions, or some other political issues, or some other challenges, or hidden reasons, it may take 1.5 year or 2 years, no, sometimes. So that is like pessimistic time. I mean, it is taking more duration or longer time than you expected. Fine. Now, these three time estimates are represented by a bell curve statistically as shown. Like, what is the meaning of this is, so this is a time versus frequency curve or graph known as bell curve. So what this indicates statistically is, so if you perform a trial 100 times or something like 66.3% of the activities will take okay most likely time TM. It is like bell shape, no? So remaining, okay, if you take it 66, no, 100 minus 66 is 34. So remaining 34 means it is equally divided. This is 17 and this is 17. I mean, most likely time also will be 17%, and pessimistic time also is 17%. Whereas the majority of the activities would be completed in the most likely time. Most likely time is the time which is considered with the normal delays. So the activity may not happen as per your wish, and it may not be delayed as you guess or expect sometimes. Fine. So normally, so that is 66.3. What is the meaning of this is, so if you conduct a trial, or if you repeat an activity 100 times, same activity 100 times under the same conditions, 66% of, or 66 times, what I can say, so it will happen in most likely time. And okay, remaining 17 and 17, that is out of 34 if we divide, so 17 plus 17, 34 times, so it may happen in the optimistic time or pessimistic time. Now coming to the key statistical or significant statistical terms, average time or expected time, and how to take, whether to consider this time or this time is the issue now. So hence, okay, as they are probabilistic in nature, is only the projection or approximation, this bell curve also. So hence, okay, how to quantify the average or expected time combining these three time estimates. Average time or expected time, it is the time an activity would take if it were to be repeated a number of times. So this provides time in which there is 50-50 chance of, again it is a probability, the activity being completed. It is denoted by TE, expected time or average time. So if the time estimates TO, TM and TP, they represent optimistic, most likely and pessimistic, then it is given by TO plus 4 times of TM plus TP divided by 6. So this is taken from the bell curve itself, like approximately TM is 4 times, 17 into 4 roughly. So are this 17 into 4, that is TO, optimistic time, plus 4 times of most likely time plus TP divided by 6 will give you the TE. In other words, you are converting these 3 time estimates of an activity into a single time estimate. In PERT problem, you will be given with 3 time estimates. You will not be given with single time estimate like in CPM. That is a major or significant difference between PERT and CPM. PERT is a 3 time estimate technique. CPM is a single time estimate technique. So then how to combine or convert these 3 time estimates into a single time estimate is, this is the statistical relation or equation. So variance, again it is a statistical term, the variance of the time required to complete each activity, it is given by TP minus TO divided by 6 whole square. Sigma square, you please recall the high school statistics, sigma square is the symbol of variance. So TP means pessimistic time, TO optimistic time divided by 6 whole square. And of course sometimes you may require standard deviation also. The square root of the variance is standard deviation, that is sigma. Sigma is the standard deviation. So this is about the statistics of 3 time estimates, that is TO, TM and TP, how to combine them into the single time estimate technique, then how to find out the variance of each activity and standard deviation of the each activity. Now coming to the outline of PERT procedure or steps, draw the project network based on the given data. That is the first step. Okay, so drawing the project network is same. It is like CPM only. There is no change. Only thing is you have to convert 3 time estimates into single time estimate. Fine. Compute the expected time for each activity, that is TE, using the formula. So that we discussed just now. Compute the earliest expected time and latest allowable occurrence times for each activity, that is forward pass and backward pass, square box and triangle box, as we discussed in the CPM in the previous session. Now you have to identify the critical activity path or critical path simply. The path which takes the longest duration is the critical path, which is nothing but the duration of the project. The duration of the critical path or length of the critical path is project duration, we say. Now we have to compute what is this called variance. So which is nothing but the sum of variance of all critical activities, and hence find standard deviation of the project length. So project only of critical activities you have to focus. This you will see with a numerical. Then calculate the standard normal deviate or variable, so which is designated by Z using again a simple equation, TS minus TE divided by sigma, where TS is the scheduled time to complete the project, TE is the capital T stands for completion time of the entire project, small t means so of activity, capital T means of entire project, expected project duration, sigma is the standard deviation of the project. So these are the key steps or procedure of PERT. First you have to draw the project network, then you have to compute TE, because you will be given with 3 time estimates, you have to convert that into single time estimate. Then you have to fill this square box and triangle box as we did in CPM problem, and you have to compute of course sigma square for each activity, and standard deviation you require here. That's why standard deviation of the critical activities you have to obtain, and this TE, okay, it is nothing but length of the critical path. TS is nothing but, okay, they will give, so what is the probability of completion in this scheduled time or something like. So using that you have to obtain Z. Z is normal deviate or normal variable. So according to this Z, you have a probability chart or normal distribution table that will be supplied even in the examination also. So you have to read the probability corresponding to this Z value. So you will be having a chart that I will show in the next slide. So corresponding to Z value, directly you will get the probability. Fine. So from the statistical or normal distribution table as I have pointed, corresponding to the Z, that is normal deviate, you have to read the probability. Now let us take a simple numerical. Time estimates for a particular activity are provided by two engineers. Let us say you have two engineers with you, A and B. So the time estimates to complete an activity or task are given in the table. State who is more consistent or certain about their time estimation. There are two engineers, A and B. So 3, 6, 7, 4, 5, 9. What is the meaning of this means? So engineer A, no? So if you give a same activity to two engineers, like, so optimistic, if everything goes well, it takes 3 hours time, let us say. So most likely it may take 6 hours, or at the most it may take 7 hours. Whereas coming to engineer B, no, it is 4, 5 and 9 like. So optimistic time of engineer B is 4, most likely 5, and pessimistic is 9. Now how to say who is more certain? Certain in the sense who is more consistent. Okay, let us think logically, being an engineer, okay, or being what I can say, a person who knows statistics or operations research or QT or whatever it is. Fine. What is the meaning of certain or consistent? So according to the statistics, if the variance is less, the data is more consistent. I'll repeat, if the variance is less, the data is more consistent. In the same way, let us find the variance of engineer A. I mean, it's not the engineer's A variance, it is the variance of engineer's A time estimate. And in the same way, let us find the variance of engineer's B time estimate. So whichever is less, no, I mean the variance is less means consistency or certainty is more. So let us see variance of the engineer A. So you are given with TO, TP, no? Of course, most likely time is not required to calculate variance as per the formula, because variance is given by TP minus TO divided by 6 whole square. So in the previous slide we discussed TP minus TO divided by 6 whole square. So then by using this TP minus TO, that is 7 minus 3 divided by 6 whole square, the variance is 0.44. So coming to the variance of engineer B, so same thing, like TO and TP is given, this minus this. So again using the same equation, 9 minus 4 divided by 6 whole square, 0.694. What is your observation? So just by seeing the data itself, we can say A is more consistent. Consistent in the sense like more capable or more reliable or something like, fine. So because his variance is less. So whereas compared to B, no, the data itself speaks, but however, you have to quantify using the statistical calculation, then you have to say which is who is more consistent or so. So now 0.694. So by observation or by the value you got it, 0.44 is less than 0.69. Hence we can say engineer A is more consistent with his time estimates. When the variance is less, certainty or consistency is more. Hence the engineer A's time estimates are more consistent or certain. Okay. Now let us take one more numerical on the basis of Z, how to calculate the probability or Z, all that okay, we're discussing in the steps. No, a project is expected to take 12 months with a standard deviation of 4 months. I'll repeat, a project is expected to take 12 months, that is TE, capital TE is 12 months with a standard deviation, that is sigma is 4 months. So obtain the probability of completing the project within 10 months and 16 months. So you please reread the problem. So I mean, you have expected that the project will complete in 12 months, that is 1 year. And of course, standard deviation of the project also is given. Now, so you are about to answer or you have to obtain the probability of completing the project within 10 months. Sometimes, no, though you plan it for 12 months, it may happen before 12 months also. What is the probability? And what is the probability of completion in 16 months? And by observing the data, probability of completing the project in 10 months will be less. Just by the data we can say, because completing the project before or prior to the scheduled time is less. Okay, however, we will see it. And the probability of this will be more. What is the probability of completing the project in 16 months means? So probability will be more. However, okay, we have to check it by using the statistics. Fine. More means how much more, less means how much less. Like that to quantify. No? Now, so we know that the normal deviate, the equation for normal deviate is Ts minus Te divided by 6, where TS is schedule time, expected time, so standard deviation. So case 1 you take it, TE is 12, that is fixed for both the cases, that is the expected time of the project. Sigma is also fixed. TS is 10 months, schedule time. I mean, what is the probability of completing the project in 10 months? Okay. Z is 10 minus 12. 10 minus 12 divided by 4, that is minus 2 divided by 4 equals to minus 0.5. Okay, now, so I'll show the table, that is normal deviation or normal distribution table, what I can say. Probability of completion corresponding to Z equals to minus 0.5. Okay, so Z value for minus value, Z value for plus value, you have separate chart in fact. Z for Z equals to minus 0.5, probability is 30.8. So as I told, the probability of completing the project in 10 months will be less, no, like that. Now, if you take the case 2, T is 12, sigma is this one, same, these two are fixed as I told. TS is 16, Z is 16 minus 12 divided by 4, that is exactly 1. So, probability of completing corresponding to Z equals to 1, Z equals to 1 is 84.1%. The normal distribution table will be like this. For example, Z equals to 1, let us take case 2. So, somewhere Z equals to 1, no? 0.844 something like you got it. This is again the decimal like, okay, if you have the fraction of this 1.1, 1.12 or something like, even you can take care to that extent. So, that is a second decimal like. So, Z for first decimal. So, here it is 1.0, that's all, no? 1.0. So, the probability is, okay, this is second decimal, there is no second decimal. So, 1.0 means 0.84, the 84.1. What is the meaning of this means? So, if you conduct the project or the task 100 times, no? So, the probability of completing the task in 10 months, that is 2 months prior to the scheduled time is 30% approximately, and the probability of completing the project in 16 months, that is 4 months later than the scheduled time, is about 84%. Now, so let us take one more problem covering all the steps of PERT that we have discussed. The following table shows the jobs or tasks of a network along with their time estimation in days like. Okay, there are different jobs with their time estimates as I have told. So, you will be having 3 time estimates, TO, TM and TP. Fine. Draw a project network. What to do with this data? Draw a project network. Compute the expected duration and variance of each activity. Then identify the critical path and project length or duration. Fine. Finally, so you have to calculate the variance and standard deviation of the project like. Fine. Now, let us take one by one all this. First thing is you have to draw the project network. Of course, there is one more question also, that is regarding the probability. What is the probability of completion or completing the project 4 days earlier than expected, not more than 4 days later than expected? That we will see later. Fine. Draw a project network. First thing is, the project network is shown by an arrow diagram. I mean, directly you can draw the project network like we have drawn in the CPM, critical path method. The project network is shown by an arrow diagram. That is, you ignore all these time estimates, just okay, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 2 to 5 are there, no? You have to take the arrow diagram or flow diagram based on the logical relationship given it is. 1 to 2, 1 to 3, for example, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Simultaneously, they are happening, concurrent activities as per our concept, like 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, they are simultaneously are happening. Fine. So, in the same way, after 2 to 5, after 2, no, 5, then 3 to 5, 3 to 5, they are merging with a common node. 4 to 6, like 4 to 6, then 5 to 6 is very simple. It's like building blocks or something, like following some logical relationship, like, okay, whatever is given, no? So, this 1 to 2, 1 to 3 have converted into the form of a diagram known as arrow diagram, or also called as flow diagram or network diagram. They are all one and same. I mean, this you have answered. Fine. Draw a project network. Then compute the expected duration and variance of each activity. So, we have discussed the formula or equation to compute the expected time. Let us see that. Fine. Critical path, okay, you can identify before that. Critical path straight away you can identify. How you can identify means there are 2 ways of identifying the critical path. Here we are not going to calculate any float like in CPM. So, what you can say is, so from 1 to 6, no, 1 to 6. 1 is the first node, starting node, 6 is the ending node. Fine. So how many paths are possible? 1, 2, 3. The path whichever takes the longest duration is the critical path. Fine. Just okay, you find out 2 plus 1 plus 7, 3 plus 5, 4 plus 6 plus 7, like 4 plus 6, how much? 10. 10 plus 7, 17. So this is the longest path, which is nothing but the critical path. What is the meaning of this? Critical means, so the activities lying on this path are critical. So 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 6 are the critical activities. You are not supposed to delay these activities. So whereas, okay, you can delay these activities, no problem, the project will not be delayed. If you delay these activities, the project will be delayed. Okay, hence they are called as critical activities, which are represented by double arrow, what I can say, or thick arrow or something like also you can represent. See, double-headed arrow, double-headed arrow. Fine. So that is 1 to 3, 3 to 5, and 5 to 6 is the critical path. I mean, you are not supposed to delay those activities. Fine. So the project duration also you got it as 17. How? The length of the critical path is nothing but the duration. Directly or indirectly you have answered 2 or 3 questions now. So you have drawn the project. Fine. You have identified the critical path. Then its duration, project duration. How to identify the critical path? See the forward paths possible from node 1 to last node. So the path whichever takes the longest duration, that is the critical path. Okay, you might be getting doubt why you are taking longest duration, why it is called as critical path means. So if you take care of these activities, no, these activities also will be completed. For example, to reach this, let us say this is 4, this is 2 or something like. So if you spend 2 days, this activity may not be completed. Whereas if you spend 4 days, even this activity also will be completed in that course of time. Okay, that already we have discussed in the previous session itself. Fine. Now let us go to the calculation of variance and standard deviation. So for that you need to calculate TE first. TE, how to calculate? You know that 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, all these are the activities. Okay, with star, no, okay, whatever the star, no, they are the critical activities. For example, this one, and this one. TO, TM and TP. How we got this TE? It's very simple. TE is obtained just by using TO plus 4TM plus TP divided by 6 that we discussed in the steps. In other words, you converted these 3 time estimates into a single time estimate, that is TE, expected time or average time. Sigma square also given the formula here. Fine. TE, so TO plus 4TM plus TP divided by 6. Fine. Like this. TE. Fine. The critical activities are this. Fine. The project duration is 4 plus 17 days, already that we discussed. Variance of the project means, so you please check here, variance means you are not required to sum up all these values. Fine. So sigma square is the variance, no? Variance of the project in the sense critical activities. So these are not critical activities. So the activities which are marked with star, no, they are the critical activities. So sigma square of those activities is 9. Okay, just you can see 1 plus 4, that is 5. 5 plus 4, that is 9. Sum of the variances of the critical activities. Then automatically standard deviation is 3. Standard deviation is denoted by sigma, no? Sigma, you got it. Why you want to calculate the sigma means to calculate the probability. So in the equation you have sigma. Hence, okay, sigma also is required. Fine. So that is the reason why you have calculated the sigma square in turn sigma. Fine. Now as per the question, what is the probability of, this is 4A, subdivision 4A. What is the probability that the project will be completed 4 days earlier than expected? Please try to understand this. In this equation, TS minus TE divided by sigma, TE is fixed now. What is TE? Total duration of the project. Total duration of the project, that is fixed. And what it is questioned is the probability that the project is completed 4 days earlier than expected. What is the expected time? Expected time is 17 days. 4 days earlier than expected means, so your TS will be 17 minus 4, that is 13 days. Indirectly, so it is questioned that, so what is the probability of completing the project in 13 days? Instead of giving directly in 13 days, 4 days earlier than expected. Your expected duration, 17. 4 days earlier means that is 13. So what you have to do is So Z is Ts minus Te divided by sigma. Ts is 13 minus 17 divided by 3. So minus 1.333 something. Okay, you will get it. So probability corresponding to Z equals to this one from that probability chart, no? So from the negative value of Z. So 9.18% from the normal distribution table. So automatically you can guess, okay, probability of completing the project 4 days earlier than what is expected will be less only, of course, okay, 9.18. So this is directly read from the distribution table. Then subdivision B is probability of completion not more than 4 days later than expected. Okay, in other words, TS is not more than 4 days later than expected means what is your expected time? 17. So 4 days it is allowed as extra time or something, like if it is allowed 4 days extra, what is the probability of completion? So that is TS plus 4 it will become here. So TS plus 4 means 17 plus 4, 21. So then okay, TS minus T in the equation if you substitute 21 minus 17 divided by 3, this plus 1.33, the probability of completion is 90.8. Why the probability is more, that you can guess, okay, the probability of completing the project in less time, no, before the scheduled time or before the expected time, before the expected time will be less, then the probability of completion beyond the expected time, that is TE, normally will be more like. So that's all about the solution for this. Now consider the following project with the time estimates in weeks it is given. So there are activities from A to G. So whose time estimates are given, TO, TM and TP, in weeks it is mentioned. Predecessor is given. What is the meaning of this? Means there is no activity before A, before B. Simultaneously A and B are starting. That is the meaning of this. If there is blank, no, there is no predecessor activity for this. There is no predecessor activity for this, like. Fine. So what is the meaning of this? To start C, A should happen. To start D, B should happen. To start E, no, B should happen. After B only you should take E. And here, okay, it is very important. C, D. After completion of C, D only, F we should take. After E, G. So in the CPM also discussed that when there are two predecessor activities, it was suggested to terminate these two activities with a common node so that your network will be compact. Fine. Let us see that. Fine. Now, what to do with this data? Draw a project network and find the probability of completing the project in 18 weeks. That's all. You have to draw the project network and you have to find out the probability of completing the project in 18 weeks. That is, your TS is 18. TS means scheduled time is 18. Now coming to the solution, expected time and variance of each activity. No? So expected time, so you have to use this equation, and for variance you have to use this equation. Fine. You will get all these things, and of course the network also will get indicates the critical activities. Okay. So critical path, let us see after drawing the network. So for all this, A, B, C, D, E, T, O, you have combined by using this equation T, E, and sigma square also you got it. So how to say which is a critical path is, so after construction of network diagram, so as I have told, from here to here, that is from 1 to 6 nodes you got it, no? So based on the data, okay, A and B are simultaneous equations. And also please note that here TE you have to write. TO, TM, TP is given, no? You have converted that into single time estimate. Hence, okay, you have to write TE. TE, where is TE? TE is here. Okay, by using this equation, T, 6, 5 or something like, same thing you have represented, 6, 5. So whether to write TO, TM, TP, you may get confusion. So you please note that you have converted 3 time estimates into single time estimate. No, that single time estimate you have to write here. And as usual, so the square boxes and triangular boxes you can fill as we did in CPM. How to fill this, for example? So 0, 0. And for example, this one, 0 plus 6, forward pass and backward pass, we will discuss, same thing. 0 plus 6, 6. So then you can reach this in 2 ways, like. So when there are 2 possible forward paths, what to do? 6 plus 4, 10. And this one, 1, 2, 3 was 5 here. 5 plus 4, 9. Whichever is more that you have to take here. So that already we have discussed as forward pass and backward pass. You please refer that previous session also. 6. Okay, it is very simple, of course. And this one also. Okay, 5 plus 4, 9. And to reach 6, you have 2 forward pass. What are those? 5 to 6 you can reach. 4 to 6 you can reach. So if you go like this square box value plus this 10 plus 6, 16. Whereas if you go like this, 9 plus 6, 15, whichever is higher, you have to fill in the next square box, like when there are more than one path, one forward path, like forward path. Okay, so if there is a unique this one, just to add that, for example, this one, it's unique, only one path is possible, that is 0 plus 6, 6. So here also, so here there are two paths, no, like this or like this, whichever is more, that you have to take. And triangle backward pass, okay, this two will be same, 0, 0, 16, 16. While coming back, what to do? 16 minus 6. So 6 to 5 can come back only in one way. 16 minus 6, okay, how much it is? 10. And 4, no, 4 also, okay, 6 to 4 you can go back in only in one way. 16 minus 6, 10. And here, okay, 3, no, you can reach back in how many ways? 2 backward ways, like 5 to 3 also you can go, 4 to 3 also you can go. So in this case, so if you go like this, this triangle value minus this, how much it is? 6. How it is 6? 10 minus 4, 6. Whereas if you go like this also, it is same coincidentally. So same number, okay, you have to write. Then, okay, to reach 2, no, only one backward pass you have, 10 minus 4, 6. And while reaching this one, no, the first node, so you have 2 backward paths. What are those? So you can reach node 1 either from 3 or from 2 in backward pass. Fine. So if you go like this, no, 6 minus 5, I mean this triangle value minus this activity time, so 1 it will be. Whereas if you go like this, 6 minus 6, 0. So if you are going back, it is like considered as delay, that should be minimized, no, hence the minimum you will take in the backward pass. Okay, now how to identify the critical path in the sense, so from 1 to 6, no, how many paths you have? 1, 2, 4, this one, or 1, 3, this one you have, 1, 3, 5, 6 you have. So the path whichever gives the, normally maximum 2 to 3 paths you will be having, no, just okay, calculate the length of this path, length of this path, and length of this path, whichever takes the more time, no, that is nothing but the critical path. That is one way of identifying the critical path. Or after getting this square box values, no, where are getting the this one 16, no, how we are getting the 16? So just like this, that is the critical path. Either way you can identify the critical path. One way is identifying the number of paths, basic paths, and taking the path having the more length as critical path. Or after filling this square and triangle values, no, so the 16 you got it, last square box. How you got the 16, in which root? Okay, this 6 plus 4 plus 6, same thing more or less. Fine. Now after getting this, the critical path is 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 16 weeks. And these are the critical activities. I mean, if you break the path 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, no, they become the critical activities, which are shown with star mark here. The activities 1 to this one, A, B, C, D, or something like, no, A is 1 to 2, in between 1 to 2, like that. Fine. So once if you get the critical activities, project variance, no, sigma square. So critical activities have marked, no. So this one, and this one. So you have to sum up, sigma square will get. So you are not required to sum up all these values. So please note that. So you have to sum up the sigma square of the activities having star, which are nothing but the critical activities. Then okay, you have to take sigma from that. So once you get sigma, so the probability of completing the project in 18 weeks, that is the question. It is a single this one question. What I can say is Z is TS minus TE divided by 6. So TS is the probability of completing the project in 18 weeks, that is given in the question 18, minus TE. T is the your estimated time of the project, divided by sigma. Sigma is how much? 1.3. Okay, that is the standard deviation of the project length or critical activities. Fine. Now this one is corresponding to the Z value from the table that you have seen. Okay, you will get the probability. So that is out of 100 trials, about 93 times the project will be completed in 18 weeks. Probability means, what is the meaning of this probability? Means same activity or same project, no, if you perform or conduct 100 times, so 93 times the project will be completed in 18 weeks, like. So why the probability you are getting more is, okay, actual estimated time is 16, no. So whereas the scheduled time, I mean your question to find out the probability of completing the project in 18 weeks, I mean more than the expected time, no, hence the probability will be more. Fine. Now let us take a small simple case study as a self-assessment problem, an R&D, I mean, which indicates how we can use the PERT problem in the industry or in the real scenario. Fine. An R&D project has large number activities. The management is interested in curbing or controlling a part of these activities, which are 7 in number. So there are 7 activities with the precedence relationship and time estimates in weeks or days is given. With the given data, draw PERT network for the activities shown in the table, obtain the critical path of the network. If the management puts a deadline of 47 days for completion of this project, okay, part of this project, 7 activities, determine the probability that will be completed in 47 days. Okay, so please try to understand this as a case study, not like a problems which we have discussed earlier. Of course, based on those problems or concepts only, so you have to handle or you have to tackle this case study. Fine, there are 7 activities. Okay, R&D project is having many number of activities, but they are interested in these 7 activities to control. Fine, precedence relationship, time estimates are given. Fine, so you are supposed to draw the project network, of course, to do anything, and you have to obtain the critical path. If the management puts a deadline of 47 days, now of course you will get TE, TS also is given here. So there, see the change. Okay, TS is, I mean, if the management is willing to complete positively in 47 days, what is the probability or something like TS is known, TE is known. Fine. So okay, we'll see. Fine, that part, okay, we'll discuss later. Of course, when should the management start these activities to get a confidence level of 99% for completion of these activities in the scheduled time? So this is a change, and of course this is a little bit extension of the problem, what I can say. When should the management start these activities to get a confidence level of 99%? That is, probability is given indirectly. So what you have to do is probability for 99% of probabilities. So you have to read the value of Z indirectly. Z is given, so TE will be known, TS you have to calculate, like, fine. Okay, we'll see that. Fine. Now this is the project network with the given data. So 1 to 6 are the nodes or events. So these are converted into single time estimate. Please note that TP is given now. TO, TM and TP. TE, that is by using the statistical equation. So you have to get the TE. That only you have to write here, not all the 3 time estimates. And of course, as usual, as we discussed, the square box and triangle box you can calculate. And how many paths are possible, critical forward paths, 1, 2, 3, like the path whichever gives the longest duration is the critical path, and its corresponding length, no, that is 45 days is the project duration. Fine, all that. So then the probability that the project will be completed is 47 days, like. Okay, question number 3. 1 and 2 have answered. What is 1 and 2? PERT network have drawn, critical path have obtained. That's why straight away have started from 3, like. Okay, what is the probability of completing the project in 47 days means, so TS is 47, 45 is our expected time, divided by sigma of these activities, critical activities, no? So you have to take sigma square first, then sigma. So 74%, like. Now for confidence level of 99% or assurance, Z value you have to read as I have told, corresponding to this probability. So it's like reverse, answer is given, you have to find the question, no? So corresponding to Z value, that is 0.99 or so, probability of 0.99, Z value is 2.33 from that normal distribution table, and you take Z value, 45 is known to you, that is fixed TE, and this one is 2.98, that is also fixed. So just, okay, you will get the value of TS. TS is 52. TS is 52 by using this equation TS. I mean, what is the question? When should the management start these activities to get confidence level of 99%? I mean, so if you want to meet the confidence level of 99%, so though you expect to complete in 47 days, no? So you should think that, or you should plan 5 days earlier. For 5 days earlier. Why 5 days earlier? In the sense, 47 days, okay, is required to complete the project if everything goes well. So, but to get the confidence level of 99%, or to complete the project probably 99%, okay. So you are supposed to take 52 days, no? 52 minus 47, that is 5 days early you have to start, like that you have to answer. Fine. This is like analysis or self-assessment or case study, you please take it. And there are some significant differences between PERT and CPM. So what are the significant differences between PERT and CPM is, Coming to the PERT, it is probabilistic in nature. Just now I have seen it is 3-time estimate technique is deterministic in nature. CPM is used when the exact data is available, so whereas PERT is used when the past data is not available, in other words. So used in R&D projects, used in business and construction project. Okay, CPM. So it is an event oriented network. Normally it is an activity oriented network. I mean, the data will be given based on the events here, that is 1 to 2, 1 to 3, like that. Normally in CPM, activities based like A, B, C, D or something like it will be given. Applicable mainly for the big projects, whereas CPM is applicable for both small and big projects. So it is a 3-time estimate technique. It is probabilistic in nature. There is a TO, TM, TP. So here whatever is given, that is T, that is final time estimate or single time estimate. How to convert 3-time estimates into single time estimate we discussed by using a statistical equation. Here it is given as T itself, and 1-time estimate. So use for the repetitive jobs, use for non-repetitive jobs, like, I mean, so as it is probabilistic in nature, no, so if you want to take number of trials like R&D, as I've told, so use it for repetitive jobs like for R&D, so use it for non-repetitive 1-time application or something like you can say of CPM. So that's all about this session. So I hope certainly you have met with the objectives. The objectives that were defined, or the outcomes that were defined, is to construct a project network using PERT. Okay, so then to obtain the project length based on the critical path. In other words, critical path, identification of the critical path and its length. So the length of the critical path is nothing but the project duration. So I take this opportunity to thank you one and all for your kind attention. Please take care and have a nice time.